Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's 9:30 on March 14th, and the snow is starting to wind down across the area. Still see a little bit of hanging on in Suffolk County there around Riverhead. Still hanging on upstate as well. You can see around Boston, still dealing with some heavy snow. Something looks like some pretty moderate snows over there. And like I said, today we got the snow, but it just didn't stick very well. We're going to look at all of that in this weather update. Looking at our weather map here, there's our storm over there, obviously. Another storm in California, no surprise there. Let's look at the satellite imagery. This was taken earlier today. You can see this thing almost had an eye to it here. There's like a line here because it didn't take an even image. But it almost looks like it had, like, there you go, a little bit of an eye there to it. There in the Gulf of Maine right there. Pretty crazy looking storm system. Let's look at the presentation on this satellite image here. And again, you can see there's that eye right there. There's the eye. That's an eye right there. I mean, it still looks like it has an eye. So now it's actually cycling. It's still in the Gulf of Maine. We have dry air coming in on the west side, but you notice all these clouds coming down from it as the storm. They have dry air. It's the only reason why it's not snowing. The snow is tapering off, but you can see this low is now pushing southward now. But look at that. Quite an intense storm there across the area. Looking at the radar here, you can see this is another look at the radar here. And you can see there's the radar. You can see, again, some snow over Suffolk County still. So we're going to look at some of the current observations across the area right now. And see what's going on across the area. It looks like some pretty strong winds. I'm already seeing it's pretty windy out there and pretty blustery out there tonight, although the snow has tapered off. Let's wait for this to load here. It seems like it's taking its sweet time. So here we go. We got mid-30s across the area. We'll take a look at what it was like at Islip, 34. They're still reporting light snow. And if we go throughout the day, you can see west-northwest wind at 33, 22 gusting to 33. So you can see it's still reporting light snow there at Islip. The snow has stopped here in Nassau County, but it's still now that the sun is down, maybe they'll be able to. The thing is, it's very light now. So let's see. It's actually a snow depth of 1 inch being reported at Islip. So it looks like they might have gotten an inch out in Suffolk County of snow, believe it or not. So you can see your temperatures generally in the 30s. You can see where it switched from light rain to light snow in the morning when we had that wind. Wind shift. You can see it'll go all the way back here. Look at the wind shift here that happened last night. You can see how the winds went from north-northeast to north, and then that brought in the snow here. Actually, they reported some snow also, light snow also after in the early morning hours as well. So you can see all the observations here for you. But the heavier snow was later on. There was some pretty heavy snow. It came down. There were a couple of good bursts out there. That's what put down that inch of snow out there at Islip for the day. I don't think Central Park saw all that much. Let's go to the latest snowfall reports from this storm, and then we'll get back to the observations for you. And this was so this is a little bit of a more recent one now. So we'll look at this more recent one. And you will see here that we have Fairfield County in northwest and interior Connecticut, 6 inches. New Haven got 3 inches. Bergen County, Saddle River got 3 inches. Farmingdale only 0.2 inch, and Central Park just a trace. So we're still on track in Central Park to have the least snowiest winter on record if we don't see any more storms. Kennedy Airport only got 0.1 inch, but it's Suffolk County that wound up getting it, particularly the South Shore of Suffolk County, which was kind of unexpected. Bayport, 1.5 inches. Comac, 1.5 inches. Islip Airport, 0.8 inches. Upton got 0.4 inches of snow. So, yeah, it looks like the winners in all of this were actually the South Shore of Suffolk County. I would have never expected that. There's always a surprise with these storms. Let's take a look now at the rainfall totals across the area, and you can see Connecticut got over an inch there. But it's the eastern Connecticut that really wound up getting a lot of liquid. 3.13 inches of rain in Killingsworth there. And that was as of 7 a.m., so that might even be higher. Clinton, 2.82. New Haven County, Guilford County, almost 3 inches. And again, that was as of 8:30 a.m. That doesn't even count the snow that fell. So These numbers will have to be updated again. I guess we'll have to go over them again tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have more. You know what? I can use the map and update them. That's what I'll do. You can see not as much in Bergen County, not as much in New Jersey with the rainfall. Nassau County, we got about 1.5 inches, a little less than I was expecting. And again, the city, not as much, around that inch mark. Midtown, 1 inch. Central Park got 0.75 inches. So the rainfall amount's not tremendously high in New York, but it's east. That's where we got the higher rainfall amounts, like Upton 2.27, and this was as of 7 a.m. 2.19 Patchogue. These are all as of the morning, so these aren't really all current. But you can see most areas in Suffolk County got around 2 inches of liquid, and probably more when we count that snow that fell. So let's go back to the map here, our map of observations, and we'll take a look at some of the observations we have going on right now. You can see there's a gust of 49 at this buoy here. Let's get that up there. So 49 west at 38, gusting to 49. Wave heights are down now to 6.6 feet. Let's see this buoy here. This one's still reporting 12.5 foot waves. That's pretty impressive right there. But I think the worst of the winds are going to be in New England, I think, closer to the center of that low pressure. Surprised these winds aren't worse, to be honest with you. So looking at, it's not quite as bad as here's one that's pretty bad. Here's a buoy that's reporting a 51 mile an hour wind gust here. I'll have to look at the Boston office and see if they have some wind gust reports we can go over. But you can see high wind warnings in effect for the Cape. Winter storm watch. Well, actually, no, it's a winter weather advisory, it looks like, for parts of eastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Winter weather advisory for, again, parts of the Hudson Valley into interior Connecticut, and the wind advisory for us, because he was still dealing with these pretty strong winds there. The Guadges got a gust up to 30 to 32 miles an hour. So, yeah, these winds are pretty strong out there. So let's go take a look at the amount of rainfall, and then we're going to look at the amount of snow. Because upstate they've gotten over 2 feet of snow, well upstate and in interior New England. So we'll go to precipitation here, and unfortunately it doesn't list snowfall. But what we can do is let's do 48-hour precipitation. Take a look at these rainfall totals here. So you can see, around the 2-inch mark in Suffolk County, you can see that less in Nassau. So pretty much what I figured here. And even less in New Jersey, only a 1/2 inch. Like I said, 3/4 of an inch to around an inch. But as you go north, you see all the liquid equivalents here. 3 inches. Eastern Connecticut seems to be the, and then also interior as well. You can see all these 2+ inch liquid equivalents that we have in these areas. So this is where most of the moisture fell in the mountains and over New England. You see some 3-inch amounts over Boston too as well, around Boston. So yeah, it's pretty significant. We can go to a map here, get the snowfall report map from the Albany office here. So this gives us a nice little map of all the snowfall. And you'll see here there's a lot of areas that have gotten, just tremendous amounts of snow here. Now Albany itself, the city, didn't see that much because it's all elevation driven. But if you go into the mountains here you go, 18 inches around there. Let's go north of we'll start north of our area. You can see you have to go up toward, again, Beacon. There's 18 inches on some of these mountains, a foot in some of these areas here. And then you get 24 inches here, Beckett, Massachusetts. So you see these higher amounts, 2 feet southeast of Albany there in the mountain. These are all like mountainous areas. This is where they get that elevation driven. 36 inches. Some areas are going to be pushing 3 feet of snow here. Which is pretty crazy in these mountains here. 33 inches in Greenville, New Hampshire. So New Hampshire, Vermont, in the mountains, it really got pounded. But in the mountains, that's the thing. Then you go and look at Manchester, and they're under a foot. So again, because they're in a valley, but when you go up the top of the mountains and go up top of the hills, then you get these higher amounts that you're seeing here. Not too much in Boston proper at all being reported. If you go west of Boston, you'll see these higher amounts here that you'll see. And then, so this is where you see all the higher amounts. In the interior is where you see these higher amounts. Not so much And this is a lot of this is just elevation driven. All right. And you can see there's some reports here of trees down, power. I noticed there was something in the storm report here. So I came across a storm report. I don't know. You see that pop up on the screen for a minute. You can see these are all the snow amounts. So pretty impressive to see all these heavy snow amounts for sure. I want to look at Boston as well and see what they have here. Storm damage reports from heavy snow. So here are storm damage reports here. Just an example of you have in Massachusetts power lines down, trees down on power lines because it's a heavy wet snow. It's very damaging, causes a lot of damage and a lot of power outages as well. You can see that. Just lots of these here to report for Massachusetts. And again, this is all interior Massachusetts here that we're seeing these reports. Don't see any wind reports listed right now for that. But I don't see any wind reports so far. So let's go to the power outage map. And you can see New York has 45,000 customers out. And again, it's mainly east of the Hudson, in the mountains. This is where they got pounded. So east of Albany, that's where they got pounded. Again, with this heavy, wet snow causing the trees to come down on the power lines. Connecticut has 6,000 outages. And they're, again, mainly in the interior, Litchfield County. Again, that area, that higher elevation area where they got that heavy, wet snow. Massachusetts has 38,000, almost 39,000 now. You can see the eastern part, the coast really isn't dealing with too many outages. Well, this area is, hold on, I went over one county. This one is Middlesex. So as you go inland, then the amounts, so it's not so much along the coast, but once you go inland, this is where you see the higher amount of outages here that you're seeing here, Hampton. So a lot of these trees, the heavy wet snow weighing down the trees on the power lines. Let's now look at New Hampshire. Very hard hit, 70,000 there. Now it's down to different numbers, I guess. But you can see here the south part of the state here dealing with some pretty high numbers here. And most of them are in the south part of the state. Again, that heavy wet snow just weighing down the power lines. Vermont, you can see you have a lot of outages here too. Windham County, Bennington. So again, the southern part of the state in the mountains, most all these outages are due to the heavy wet snow weighing down trees, and they fall on power lines. The branches fall on the power lines. Maine, wow, along the coast. Here's some bad. Wow, this is Knox County in Maine has a large portion of its population out of power, as well as Lincoln. So these areas seem to be very hard hit here too, as well. And if we go back to the weather map here, let's go back and we'll do the observations. I'm going to go back to that area and we're going to see, because I think let's see how bad the winds have been in that section of Maine here. I don't see winds being that high. Maybe it was more of a snow issue here. Oh, here's 45-mile-an-hour wind gusts. This is Portland, Maine. So let's see. We've got 45-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The winds aren't as bad as I thought they would be. I think it's more of I guess they got a lot of snow in that area. I'd have to look and see what the cause of that outage would be. But this is what it looks like right now. So it looks like Knox County in Maine and Lincoln County in Maine dealing with a lot of power outages, probably again due to that heavy wet snow. Probably like to get the snowfall. Well, we can go to we can go back up here and get that snowfall map here. This is their snowfall reports. So this is not a look at some of these numbers though. Again, 26 inches, Worcester County really just pounded. Look at Hampshire County, 32 inches in Plainfield. So you can see these areas really got pounded in the mountains. Franklin County, Coleraine, 36 inches. I mean, that's the high one right there. Hartford, what did Hartford get? Hartford County, 15 inches in Granby. Yeah, that's probably up again. Because again, if you go up high, that's where you're going to get. So I'd like to see some of the snowfall reports from here. Bangor International Observer reports 5 inches of snow. Still, no snow in Caribou. So I don't think it has as much snow over there. Updated. We'll go back to the map here. Here's another look at the map. So yeah, coastal Maine did not see that much snow. So I'm wondering what caused that big power outage. If that was a wind gust or what, because I don't see a lot. I'm not seeing a lot of snow in that area. I'm not seeing a lot of snow at all. No, here we go. Highest wind reports. Let's see. Hancock County, 51. 53 at Eastport. Some of the maritime stations got up to 63, but not as bad as I feared. Not as bad as I feared it would be with that. So we'll look at the power, or look at the Long Island power outage situation. Just go here and see. I don't think there are that many. We have 370, so it's not that many. Very widely scattered. This looks like there's just one really large outage in Brentwood, and that's about it. Nothing really too much, because again, the winds haven't been too bad here to cause too many of the power outages. So let's now go to the weather models. I guess we'll do that next. I guess, yeah, we'll do that next. Just look at our storm here. So again, there's our storm. Put it on the eastern U.S. view. So there's your storm here. This is the GFS. And you see it moves south, east. So it actually pulls east now. So it's going to do a loop, and then it's going to pull due east. And then, yeah, so you see it's kind of looping south, but then it pulls east, and that takes the moisture with it. And we should actually see some sunshine tomorrow. Maybe not completely clear, but you see those tight isobars. We're going to be dealing with some strong winds. There's the big high pressure system across the country. It'll finally bring us a couple of dry days. Thursday will also be dry. Friday will be dry as well. We have to watch for this cold front to pass through overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning. And then behind that, another big area of high pressure. Finally seeing some of these big areas of high pressure give us some dry weather and hopefully some sunny skies. HRRR, I know we have about 40 in. So, all right, we have 40 hours in. So, again, this is the storm right here. It pulls away. So the winds and the snow are all eventually going to wind down. You can see it just takes its sweet time, though. This is the HRRR. It still kind of has it sitting in the Gulf of Maine for a little bit. It's not going to really race on out of here, which is why the winds are going to linger tomorrow. We may see clouds linger, too. From that. Then this high builds in, but we're going to have upper level moisture on top of that high. So unfortunately, for Thursday, we're probably not going to have a clear sky. So let's look at the dew points and wind flow on the HRRR. You can see there's the storm right there. So you can see those northwest winds. We're still going to have gusty winds. And notice the dry air, though, that we have, particularly over the mid-Atlantic. That's some pretty nice dry air that's over there that should yield to clear skies, maybe in that area. And then you can see northwest winds continue into Thursday, and then they become more westerly. Go to the temperatures. So temperatures tonight, we may get to around the freezing mark, so it might get a little slippery out there. And then tomorrow, highs will be, it looks like it's going to be pretty chilly tomorrow. Highs only around 40 degrees on Long Island, and maybe like 43 or 45 as you go toward southern New Jersey, maybe. And this according to this model. Then we go below freezing for tomorrow night. We'll probably be in the upper 20s. And then here we are warming back up again for Thursday. If I want to look at go a little further, we can look at the GFS, and you can see it's got 50s in New Jersey up for Thursday and 40s over Long Island. Let's wind this back a little bit here. So we'll look at the dew points and wind flow again. So here's your dew points and wind flow. Here we're going to Thursday. We keep the northwest winds, they become west, and then by the later in the day, they'll probably become west-southwest, and that's why we're going to have warmer weather. And then Friday, here we have the southerly flow, and here's the next cold front that comes on through, and you can see some pretty strong southerlies ahead of that, and then that comes through. For Saturday, we see drier air racing in here, and this looks like some pretty dry air that's coming in here. Sunday, this should yield to some clear skies Sunday into Monday. I'm really hoping with that nice dry air that we'll have. Let's go look at the actual air temperatures. So here's Thursday, obviously going to be mild. Friday, again, you're probably going to be dealing with 50s in New Jersey, probably closer to 50 on Long Island. And then we have that cold front come through overnight. And then for Saturday, temperatures are cooler. probably mid-40s, but still could see 50 if you go further south. And then the colder air comes in Sunday morning. We're below freezing. And then Sunday will be much colder, with temperatures only in the upper 30s and low 40s, probably around the 40-degree mark. So it's going to be well below normal on Sunday. And then for Monday, you can still see continuing the below normal. We finally have one of those big highs coming in and bringing us some nice weather for a couple of days, it looks like, once we're done with all this mess. So let's go now to the skies, and I guess we'll go to the GFS for that. So we'll do that. We'll start with that first because there's disagreement on that. The GFS says we're not really going to see mostly sunny skies tomorrow at any time. And then by the time that moves out, we have more clouds coming in on Thursday. And then we'll obviously be dealing with clouds on Friday and the chance of rain Friday night into Saturday morning. And then that front comes through, and then we clear it on out for Sunday. Though, again, it looks like it's showing a lot of clouds building up here. This may be overdone. And then Monday, it looks like it could be a mostly sunny day. And then Tuesday would have to worry about maybe some more of those cirrus coming in. But this is the GFS, and, its cloud forecast is not the best. So that's why I don't like using it too much. Let's go to the RGM instead. All right. And again, that far out, it's really hard to tell what's going to happen. So this is the RGM tomorrow. We're starting off with clouds. And you can see the clouds kind of around noon, late morning, they start dissipating, and we'll see the sun come out for the afternoon. And it should be, according to the RGM, and this is the one I agree with the most, we should have mostly sunny conditions by after 1 o'clock in the afternoon across the area. All right, except maybe the very east end there. All right. Then for Thursday, we got these cirrus level clouds that come in and junk up the sky for a little bit. Maybe, we'll still have some sunshine. And then Friday, we'll have more thicker cirrus clouds ahead of this cold front here that's going to be coming on through. I'm not going to really forecast the sky beyond that. But we have a lot of disagreement with the sky model, so that's why I have to go through all of them. Here's the NAM. All right, so here's the NAM. The clouds, you can see the NAM is the quickest getting rid of the clouds. Gets rid of most of them by the middle of the day over New Jersey and, hangs a few over Long Island for a few more hours and then moves them away. And then for Thursday, the NAM actually has the clouds in the morning, but then actually has less clouds in the afternoon. So we will see some sunshine. I just can't tell you exactly how much. But the afternoon is the better bet for the sunshine, I think, versus the morning. But we should see some sunshine, and we need it, man. We've been deprived of it for a very long time. So looking at the NAM, so we're gonna actually do some of the soundings now. We can do soundings on the NAM. So we'll do the soundings on the NAM. Let's do a sounding for so this is 16Z. So you can see these lines are fairly close to each other, but they are far enough apart. But let's go now to a different model. Let's go to the, we got to look at the HRRR model too as well. 0Z on the HRRR and get some soundings for that. So here's 16Z. We'll put this at noon, 17Z. Actually, 17Z is not noon. It's more like 1 o'clock actually now because the times have changed. You remember, clocks ahead. So we'll see what we got here. You can see these lines are pretty close to each other, but they're not exactly touching. Let's see, are they a little further apart? They're a little further apart in New Jersey. So, you're more likely to probably see more sun if you're in New Jersey versus Long Island at this point. But it will be windy. You can see that breeze, those tight isobars there, that tight pressure gradient there. And then as we make it into Thursday here, you'll be dealing with the cirrus. So we can put this at 18Z. Let's see what happens here. You'll probably have them touching. They're pretty close to each other, almost touching at the mid-level. So it looks like maybe some mid-level cloudiness there for Thursday. Maybe not just high clouds, but also mid-clouds as well. Looking at this. So wind is obviously the next thing we have to talk about because we're still going to be dealing with it. Let's go to the Ventu sky here. All right, we'll put this on the wind gusts to show you we're still dealing with the wind gusts. Here's your storm right here. Again, and as we move this into tomorrow, let's go to tomorrow here. We'll put this at 3 a.m. You can see here's still giving it an eye. It's going to be interesting to watch this thing through the night. I'm be tempted to get another satellite image of it before I end this weather update. You can see wind gusts still close to 40, so it's still going to be pretty windy out there. Wind gusts still in the morning, still dealing with 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Move this to noon, and we're still dealing with 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. A little less in New Jersey, but still pretty windy because we still have that storm there taking its sweet time. It's a little slower than the GFS, and I have a tendency to believe that it will be a little slower moving away. You can see still gusts to 40, so most of the day tomorrow will be pretty windy. You can see here, and we're looking at the temperatures here, visualizing the temperatures with that wind. It's going to feel pretty chilly out there across the area. And if I could put clouds here, you'll see it's still showing a lot of clouds. This is, again, the HRRR model here. You see it shows a little less clouds over New Jersey versus Long Island, but it's such a tight difference. It's only like a 50-mile difference. So these clouds could actually be further west or further east. But I still think we'll see some sun tomorrow, mainly more toward the afternoon, probably at this point. So that's pretty much what it looks like. Yeah, so I am tempted to grab another satellite. Let's go to the satellite imagery here, and I'm going to grab another satellite. We're going to just, I want to change this. I want to change the view on this. Let's go to the Atlantic Coast satellite imagery, and we'll do the GLM flash intensity again. So this is your storm again. We're going to just make this a little bit longer so we can get a little bit of the daylight on it. So you can see there's your storm right there. Again, look at that thing go. I mean, it's just you can actually see some of that convection around there too. There was a little bit of lightning around there earlier. Yeah, a little bit, not too much. It's over colder water now, so it's not really gonna strengthen. If anything, it's gonna lose strength. You can see, look at that thing swirl around there. It's pretty cool. So let's lastly go and look at 511 New York, and we're just gonna look at some of the what just happened here. Some of the road conditions across the area. It looks like we have an accident over here. Crash on there. I'm not surprised. We're gonna look at some of these roads out here and see what they look like as far as if there's any snow on them or not. So let's go. We'll pick this one here. And yeah, look at that. There is snow on the ground in Suffolk County. So if we can keep it, we'll have to see. This is probably going to disappear pretty quickly by tomorrow afternoon. But if you're lucky, you might get a little snow out there. Let's see what we got over here. I don't see too much on the ground for this picture. Let's see this one here. A little bit. I see snow on the pine trees here. This is not too far from Edgewood here. So we do see some snow out there. About an inch in some parts of Suffolk County tonight. You can see in this image, you don't see any snow on the ground. So it's going to be patchy. And like I said, if you're counting on to enjoying the snow or looking at it, you better get up bright and early tomorrow because it's going to be gone probably by noon, unfortunately. If you want to look at it, at least it's something. Let's go down here. Let's Oakdale merge. See what we got here. So you can see the road is just wet basically, but we got to watch as the temperatures go below freezing that we could see some slippery conditions for the area there. But yeah, not a whole lot of snow on the ground out there. Very little. It's in patchy areas you'll see it, but it's not everywhere. And like I said, it's going to disappear pretty quick by tomorrow, I think. So once again, we'll go through the hazards that we have in effect. The wind advisory, which will be in effect till 11 a.m. Wednesday. So there you go. Wind advisory till 11 a.m. tomorrow. So for Suffolk County. And again, that's just for Suffolk, not for no, it is for Nassau now. So they did extend it to Nassau, not the city. And it looks like there's also a wind advisory for New Jersey as well. Let's see what they have. So actually, yeah, wind advisory till theirs goes till midnight. So theirs only goes till midnight, it looks like. So interesting that they end theirs at midnight. I don't know. I think that I'd put it at least till 9 a.m. at least. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. And again, big mess in the interior with all the. We could just go and we can look again at the AccuWeather here because they bring it up here. Nor'easter drops 2 feet of snow. First significant nor'easter of the season unleashes heavy snow. So again, inland, some areas got more than 2 feet. Outages in New England. 184,000 outages at 7 p.m. In New England here. And Connecticut's only had outages in Litchfield County right now. So that's pretty much going to do it for this weather update. So little taste of winter. This may be the last time we see flakes. But we'll look more at the long range tomorrow night. Have a good night.